My name is Ethan Reed. I never imagined my life would turn into a cheap tabloid scandal. Funny how we create these perfect plans. Suburban bliss, Sunday barbecues, Friday wine, only to watch them collapse when reality hits. I trusted my wife, Diana, and our 2 kids, Zach and Emily. I also trusted my best friend, Logan. That trust is gone now, shredded by secrets and cheap motel sheets. It didn't happen all at once. At first, I was blind. Then came the suspicion gnawing in my gut. One Tuesday night, I got home expecting Diana to be folding laundry, some reality TV playing in the background. Instead, the place was silent. In the kitchen, she was whispering into her phone, looking flushed. "Hey," I said, eyeing her phone. "Everything okay?" She hung up like it was on fire. "Just a work friend, some crisis." It sounded plausible. Diana loved playing the Good Samaritan. But something in her eyes twisted my stomach. I wanted to believe it was just stress, but deep down I sensed something bigger lurking under the surface. A few days later, I found the real proof. I'd come home from golfing and was digging through the clothes hamper for my sweaty clothes. Instead, my hand bumped into a pair of Diana's jeans. A crumpled condom wrapper fell out, a used wrapper. We never used them. Diana was on the pill. My heart did a crazy spasm like a drum roll before an execution. And right then, I knew. I didn't need wild theories. There's no alternative explanation for a condom wrapper in your wife's pocket. I felt sick. I stuffed the wrapper back and went to the bathroom, staring into the mirror, my eyes bright with shock. My reflection silently mocked me. Poor clueless fool. That was the moment I swore to myself that if Diana was cheating, I'd get proof and confront her. No letting it slide. Enter Logan Foster, my best friend from college, back when we lived on instant ramen and energy drinks. He'd been my best man at the wedding, the guy who gave that hilarious speech about Diana's wild bachelorette party and my fear of dancing. Logan had a wife of his own, Natalie Foster. She was striking. Tall, fiery red hair, green eyes that sparkled with hidden danger. Her figure was impossibly fit for someone in her mid-30s, an absolute showstopper. But there was something about her that made me uneasy, like a cat poised to pounce on a trapped bird. One Saturday, as I paced my living room trying to figure out what to do, the doorbell rang. It was Natalie, wearing an expression that was equal parts anger and smug satisfaction. She stepped right in, pointed at my couch like she was telling me to sit. So I did. "Ethan, don't bother lying," she snapped. "I know Diana's sleeping with my husband." She was so blunt, I just froze. My head spun. She knew? I tried to speak, but nothing came out. How long had she known? Natalie pulled out a small manila envelope and scattered photographs across my coffee table. Diana and Logan checking into a motel, looking like 2 sneaky lovers who think they're being oh so clever. More pictures showed them leaving the same motel. Time stamps glowed in the corners of each shot. My chest felt ready to implode. "A private investigator," Natalie said coldly. "Cost me half my inheritance from my father, but it was worth it to confirm that Logan's a cheating pig." Her voice dripped with contempt, but she was eerily calm, like the calm that comes after a bullet's fired. It was my first real glimpse into Natalie's brand of malevolence. A chill ran through me. If Diana and Logan were terrible for cheating, Natalie might be an entirely different beast. That's a lot," I managed. "Why are you telling me all this now?" She stood taller, eyes narrowed. "Because Logan's about to leave for another so-called business trip with your wife. I figured you deserved to know. And because," she gave a thin smile, "I have a plan to make them both suffer." Strangely, I felt some relief. Finally, it was real. I wasn't crazy. The condom wrapper made sense and Natalie's evidence was indisputable, but her manner rattled me more than the actual news. She spoke like she was discussing stocks. No tears, no heartbreak, just iron resolve. "Revenge," she said, tapping one photo with a manicured nail, "is an art form. You can go nuclear, or you can plan it meticulously." I eyed her warily. "What do you mean?" She leaned forward, face close to mine, her perfume an overwhelming spicy floral scent. If we really want to ruin them, we can't just expose the affair, we have to destroy them. And I know exactly how. Goosebumps prickled along my arms. I realized Natalie didn't merely want justice, she was out for blood. Part of me understood. Another part screamed to get away from this. 2 nights later, Natalie came by again. Diana was supposedly working late, but I had a good guess where she really was. Natalie, standing in my living room with that predatory gleam in her eyes, said, "Ethan, you've run this betrayal through your head 1,000 times, right? I have. But now we need a plan." "What kind of plan?" I asked, feeling uneasy. She exhaled. "Full-scale revenge. You said you don't want to be spineless, so let's show them. The only way to teach them what betrayal feels like is to do the same thing. They're fooling around behind our backs. Let's fool around behind theirs." My skin went cold as I realized what she was implying. She didn't mince words. "You're saying you and I should sleep together?" Natalie paused, hand on her hip. "Yes, Ethan. We're both consenting adults. Think about it. They cheat with each other. We cheat with each other. Let them taste their own toxic medicine. And we keep it secret, so if they ever do suspect, they'll understand what we've gone through." The audacity of it left me speechless. A part of me was repulsed. Another part was weirdly intrigued. I gave a bitter laugh. "That's just becoming them. Isn't that sinking to their level?" She snorted. "They're already rolling in filth, Ethan. We're just stepping down to say hello. They started this." I said nothing, remembering Diana's once sunny smile, the warmth of her body, the love I thought we shared. My stomach twisted with anger. Maybe Natalie was right. Maybe this was justified. In my silence, she saw agreement. Her eyes lit up with triumph. "Good," she said, stepping so close her face nearly touched mine. "Let's get started." I wish I could say the first time Natalie and I crossed the line was a moment of moral hesitation, but it wasn't. It happened spontaneously in my own kitchen. Diana was out, allegedly helping a friend. Natalie rang the bell, came in wearing a skin-tight top with no bra. I could see her nipples right through the fabric. She looked me in the eye and said, "I'm done waiting. I want to feel alive. You going to turn me away?" I should have, but I didn't. At that moment, I craved revenge. I wanted to bury the idea of Diana and Logan under a mountain of my own betrayal. So I let Natalie press herself against me. Our lips met in a fierce collision of anger and desperation. We ended up on the couch, and it was anything but sweet. It was raw, fueled by hatred for them and maybe for ourselves. Afterwards, Natalie lay beside me, tracing her fingertips across my chest. "That," she whispered, "is what they deserve to lose." I was torn between shame and a strange satisfaction. I felt disgusted and vindicated all at once. Heartbreak rarely fosters logic. While Natalie and I indulged in secret liaisons, we also spied on Diana and Logan, collecting phone records and suspicious receipts. Natalie showed me how to rig a cheap voice recorder on the home phone line. She was disturbingly skilled, like she'd run espionage missions before. One evening, I played back the recorder in my basement. My blood chilled when I heard Diana's voice. "Diana, Logan, I can't get enough of you. How can I sneak away again?" Logan, "Baby, you know I'm up for anything. Let's do lunch tomorrow. The Crestwood Motel on Kingsley, room 402. I'll handle the bill, like always." Diana, "I've got some cash saved if you need me to chip in." Logan, "Hell no. I'd never make my girl pay, especially since you already treat me like a king." A low, suggestive chuckle in my stomach twisted so much I nearly vomited. Diana giggled flirtatiously. I stopped listening right there. Enough. I had all I needed. Natalie clenched her jaw when she heard it. "He's lying about footing the bill. He's been draining our joint savings, money I inherited when my dad died. I bet he's telling Diana some sweet story about being her sugar daddy." I swallowed. "They're brazen, so maybe they'll slip up soon. We can catch them." She nodded, then gave me a wicked grin. "Meanwhile, we should do our own motel meetups. Let them wonder why we're so calm. Let them sense the ground shifting." This routine went on for weeks, maybe months. It blurred into a churn of secrets, tension, and adulterous encounters between me and Natalie, fueled by bitterness. Oddly, it pulled us closer in ways I never expected. Then one day, Diana came home pale-faced. She dropped onto the couch, tears shining in her eyes. "Ethan," she whispered, "I need to tell you something." My pulse roared in my ears. Was this the confession? Was she going to ask forgiveness? I braced myself. She twisted her wedding ring. "I feel so guilty," she breathed. "I've been stepping out on you. I never wanted to hurt you. It just became this obsession. It's over now, I swear. I ended it." Tears streaked her cheeks as she reached for my hand. "I want us to fix this. I love you, Ethan. I was stupid, but it's done. Please believe me." I stared at her damp, anguished face. Part of me wanted to pull her in, bury myself in her hair, confess I'd been just as bad. But anger rose up, choking off any pity. "Oh, you're sorry now?" I said quietly, slipping my hand from hers. "How convenient." She sobbed harder. "I know. It's all my fault, but it's the truth. I was reckless and I ended it." I stood up. "If you think I'm going to thank you for your half-baked remorse, forget it. Do whatever you want." I left her on the couch, trembling and crying, and locked myself in the bedroom. Only then did I allow myself to silently break down. Memories of Natalie's touch churned in my head. I was no better than Diana. We were all in the same swamp. Later, I told Natalie about Diana's sudden confession. She went rigid. "Did she say who she was sleeping with?" "No," I answered bitterly, "but I'm sure she knows I'm not an idiot." Natalie snorted. "Diana's not as clueless as I assumed, but she has no idea about us." "Yeah, about that," I said, my throat tight. "Maybe we should stop." For a second, Natalie's eyes blazed with fury. "You think I'm done?" Logan's still lying to me, still pretending he's the devoted husband. Meanwhile, he's sneaking around. Diana's meltdown changes nothing. I exhaled. We're hurting ourselves too. She stepped close, her eyes fiery. "Don't pretend it doesn't feel good, Ethan. Don't you dare." Her proximity lit a spark of desire and dread. Part of me wanted to push her away. Part of me wanted her again. "You're crazy," I muttered. "So are you," she whispered against my ear, "which is exactly why this is working." Then everything escalated. One night, Natalie showed up at my door, bruised and crying. Diana and the kids were out, thank God, so I was alone. Natalie's hair was a mess, mascara streaked down her cheeks. "He hit me," she spat out. My eyes widened. "Logan? He actually—" She nodded, voice shaking with equal parts rage and grief. "He accused me of cheating because I wouldn't let him touch me anymore. We argued, and he slapped me. Then, I was pregnant, Ethan. I just found out, and then I had a miscarriage." My heart nearly stopped. "Wait, pregnant? You were carrying—" She sank onto the couch, burying her face in her hands. "It would have been yours," she whispered, voice cracking. "Not his." I dropped to my knees beside her, flooded with a torrent of feelings. If it was true, a baby conceived from our twisted revenge was now gone, violently. My mind reeled. Natalie's sobs turned hollow. She wiped her eyes, jaw set with cold determination. "I hate him," she said flatly. "I hate Diana for forcing me into this in the first place." She glanced at me with a haunted half-smile. "And you? I only wanted your child to spite Logan. That's the honest truth." I felt the words like a slap. "Natalie, that's insane. We both—" Her eyes filled with anger. "Don't act like you cared. We used each other. I was using you more, but don't lie to yourself." "Calm down," I urged, resting a hand on her shoulder. She shook me off violently. "Don't tell me to calm down. He beat me, caused me to lose my baby. Even if I never intended to raise that child normally, it was still mine." I shuddered, feeling helpless. She demanded we confront Diana and Logan together. "We'll catch them at a motel, throw it in their faces, then I'll decide how far I want to go. You said you didn't want to be spineless. Now's your shot." I felt dread knotting in my stomach, but I said yes. Diana's confession rang hollow. She didn't even name Logan. I was fed up with all the deceit. Natalie discovered that Logan and Diana had booked a crummy motel near the highway for a midday meetup. She texted me the address and I left work early. We met in the parking lot, marched inside. The skinny clerk didn't dare question us. Natalie had swiped Logan's jacket keycard. We found room 210. My heart pounded, each step a drumbeat. Natalie's eyes glinted like someone possessed. She slid the card, saw the green light, and we burst in. Diana was half-dressed, yanking her shirt on, while Logan jumped off the bed in boxers, panic on his face. "What the hell?" Diana cried. Natalie's laugh echoed like shattering glass. "Surprise, you cheating bastards!" Logan's eyes widened. "Natalie, what's wrong with you? Ethan, man, let me explain." But Natalie silenced him with a sneer. "Don't bother. I know everything. Everything." She leveled a withering glare at him. "You think you can beat me and walk away? Really?" Diana's eyes flicked between us. "Beat you? Logan? What is she talking about?" Natalie jerked her chin toward me. "Tell them, Ethan." My hands shook. "Logan, you hit her. She lost." He barked. "She's lying. I never touched her." Natalie scoffed. "You're going to pay one way or another." Her gaze landed on Diana. "And you, dear Diana, proud of yourself sleeping with a guy who assaults pregnant women? Real prize you snagged." Diana's face went chalk white. "Pregnant? What?" Natalie glared. "Did Logan conveniently leave that out? He cost me my child. Ethan's child." Diana gaped at me. "Wait, you and Natalie?" I clenched my teeth. "Yeah, for months. Same as you and Logan." For a moment, the room was so silent I could hear the air conditioner hum. Diana looked stricken. "Ethan, how could you?" Anger erupted. "Don't you dare look betrayed. You destroyed our marriage first, sleeping with my so-called best friend." Logan tried stepping in, raising his palms. "Let's all chill. Natalie, you know me, I'd never hit you." Natalie's laugh turned harsh. "Call me baby one more time and see what happens. You know exactly what you did. Quit lying." She lunged at him, claws raking his cheek. I rushed to restrain her, but she was wild, tears streaming. He clutched his face, cursing. Diana stood by, looking like she'd stepped into a nightmare. Finally, she snapped, "Enough! We're making a scene." Natalie rounded on her. "Oh, I'm sorry. Are we disturbing your cozy love nest?" I held Natalie back, adrenaline shaking my body. Her fury was feral. Logan, panting, looked terrified. "I never touched you, Nat. You're twisted." "Shut up," she hissed. "You'll pay for it one way or another." Suddenly, Diana swayed, looking nauseous. Logan tried to steady her, but she jerked away. Her eyes latched onto mine. "Ethan, there's more," she whispered, lip trembling. "I'm pregnant too, and I don't know whose baby it is." My stomach plummeted. Natalie stiffened in my grasp. "What do you mean you don't know whose it is?" I roared. "You're hooking up with Logan. How could it be mine?" Diana's face flamed. "Because you and I weren't always careful, remember? After I'd supposedly ended it with Logan, you and I, but then he guilt-tripped me. I messed up again." Logan's voice shook with anger. "Wait, you said you ended things with me. But if you're still hooking up with me, it's obviously not over." She spun on him, eyes blazing. "I tried to end it. You pulled me back in and I was too weak to refuse. It was never love. It was some insane thrill I hate myself for." Natalie barked a bitter laugh. "So, you ended it, but not really, and now you're pregnant and clueless whose kid it is." "Ethan, congrats. You might be raising Logan's spawn. Or maybe someone else's entirely." Diana glared. "Shut up, Natalie. You don't know—" Natalie curled her lip. "I know you deserve each other in hell, and Ethan's too naive to see it. Don't drag me," I started, but Natalie whirled, stabbing a finger at my chest. "You're no innocent either, Ethan. You were in bed with me, or on your couch, or that dingy motel on the south side. You loved it." Diana's face twisted. "You two are disgusting." Rage flared white-hot in me. "You're calling us disgusting? You spent the last year rolling around with my best friend. Spare me your fake morality." Logan pressed his palms to his temples, letting out a growl. Everyone shut up. Yes, I was sleeping with Diana, but I never beat Natalie. If she's pregnant or miscarried, I have no idea. Big deal. She wanted it as much as I did. Natalie's eyes went murderous. She jerked free of my grip and slapped him. The crack echoed in the small room. That's for calling my miscarriage a big deal. You're garbage. Logan's face twisted with fury. For one terrifying second, I thought he'd hit her. Instead, he stormed to the other side of the room, pacing with clenched fists. And then, the worst shock of all, Natalie opened her purse and pulled out a small silver handgun. My blood froze. "Natalie!" I shouted, stepping forward. "What the hell?" She leveled it at Logan, eyes wide with grief and rage. "I'm not going to kill you," she hissed, "but I'll shoot you in the leg if you come near me." Diana gasped, covering her mouth. Logan raised his arms, stepping back. "Natalie, are you insane?" My thoughts whirled. This was spiraling way beyond ugly. "Natalie, put it down, we can talk." "Shut up," she snarled, tears pouring down her face, but her aim never wavered. "I've got nothing left to lose. My child is gone. Logan, drop to your knees and apologize right now." He stared at the gun, eyes darting. Slowly, he sank to his knees. "I'm sorry," he choked out, voice laced with terror and hatred. "Nat, you know I'd never—" She laughed, bitter and raw. "You'll say anything to save your skin." She stared at Diana. "Get down too." Diana's face went ashen. "You can't be serious." Natalie cocked the gun. An ominous click. "Down, Diana." Diana's knees buckled. She dropped beside Logan, eyes brimming with fear. "Natalie, please." "Shut up," Natalie commanded, pressing the barrel to Logan's temple. "I hate you both." "I hate you." She swung her gaze to me, eyes blazing. "And I hate you, Ethan. You used me, same as I used you." I stepped forward with my hands raised. "Natalie, that's not—" She cut me off, eyes glistening. "I lost everything. My father's money, my dignity, my baby. Don't tell me to calm down." We hovered in that moment, the gun shaking in her hand. Then, abruptly, she let out a ragged breath. "Get out of my sight," she spat, stepping back. "All of you, get up, get out, leave me alone." Her voice cracked on the last word. Terrified, we scrambled to our feet. I wanted to take the gun from her, but she swung it my way, tears shining in her eyes. "Go," she whispered. Diana tugged my sleeve, practically dragging me. We hurried out into the corridor, slamming the door behind us, hearts pounding. From inside came a muffled scream. No gunshot followed. Down in the motel parking lot, none of us spoke. We just stood in the heat, glaring at each other through a fog of guilt and pain. Diana was crying silently. Logan looked ready to hurl insults. My whole body shook with adrenaline. Diana finally broke the silence. "I'm pregnant. I don't know whose baby it is, but if it's yours, Ethan, maybe we can still fix things." I stared, my voice harsh. "Fix things? It's beyond broken. A baby isn't going to mend all this." She choked on a sob. "Fine, hate me if you want. I deserve it." Logan spat blood onto the pavement. "Don't be melodramatic, Ethan. We're all messed up here." I rounded on him, fists clenching. "Melodramatic? You called my wife baby while you rolled around in my bed behind my back? You were my best man, my friend." My voice broke. "I hope you rot for this." He sneered. "Yeah? You're no saint. You slept with my wife as revenge. Real noble." That snapped something in me. I punched him square in the jaw, sending him stumbling. He let out a strangled curse and lunged. We collided in a wild brawl, fists flying. Diana screamed, trying to stop us. We crashed to the ground. He landed a blow on my ribs that almost knocked me out, pain exploding in my side. But I rolled, slamming his head on the concrete. "Stop!" Diana shrieked, tears coursing. "He'll kill you, Logan! Stop!" Logan went limp. I hovered over him, panting, my knuckles throbbing, the urge to keep pounding him crackling through my veins. Then I remembered Natalie's gun, how close we were to an irreversible end. I pulled away, sucking in ragged breaths. Logan curled on his side, spitting blood. Diana crouched over him, sobbing. A dreadful hush settled in. A few passers-by gawked from a safe distance. We said nothing. I clutched my side, each breath sending a stab of pain. The emotional agony, though, was worse. Finally, Diana tried to speak, but her voice trembled. "We can't leave Natalie up there in that state. She could hurt herself." Logan, his face bruised, growled, "She's beyond help. She's insane." I shook my head, voice shaky. "We have to do something. Call the cops or an ambulance." Diana hesitated. "What if she tells them about everything?" I glared at her. "You're seriously worried about yourself right now?" But deep down, I knew she had a point. I swallowed and finally dialed 911. I told them there was a suicidal woman with a gun in room 210 and we needed help fast. Then I hung up, my stomach in knots. Had I saved her or condemned her? We stood there, battered, tearful, furious. Soon, sirens wailed. Police cars screeched to a stop. Officers raced inside. After a tense wait, Natalie came out in handcuffs, head bowed. She looked shattered, half dead, muttering words I couldn't catch. They guided her into a squad car. She didn't resist or look at us. An ambulance pulled in, presumably to evaluate her. Red and blue lights flashed off motel walls. A cop approached us, asking about Natalie. Diana, tears in her eyes, tried to answer. Logan stayed silent. When it was my turn, I mumbled partial truths about her emotional crisis. No mention of affairs or unborn babies. Shame outweighed everything else. The cop nodded. "We'll get more statements soon. For now, you should all leave." And just like that, it ended. No charges filed for the gun, no immediate consequences. The one who'd lost the most, ironically, was Natalie, carted away in a cruiser. I turned to Diana, her eyes puffy from crying. She whispered, "Ethan, we can't leave like this." My voice was ice. "What should we do? Hug and make up?" She broke down in sobs. Logan, wiping blood from his face, said nothing. We watched as Natalie disappeared behind the flashing lights. My fist still ached from hitting him. All I felt was a vast emptiness. Diana, reached for me. I pulled away. "You're pregnant, possibly with his child. Natalie's gone, maybe to jail, maybe to a psych ward. I just beat my ex-best friend, who's been sleeping with my wife for a year. That's it. That's our life now." She sobbed harder. Logan glared at the ground. None of us spoke. The sirens faded. The motel's neon sign flickered like a dying heartbeat. No forgiveness, no closure. Just a pit of unanswerable questions and raw pain. Without another word, we all walked off into the gathering dusk. 3 broken souls in a world of our own making.